One of the worst things in the world is getting screwed out of something that you worked for, even if it isn't something tangible like money or a job. Hey, it's your buddy Muju's Magic. And as a gamer, one thing we encounter that makes all of us rage is people that cheat at the game. I don't mind if people are playing a solo game and you're using cheat codes to help your quality of life playing the game. I played Age of Empires solo. I remember all the old cheats and hacks from when I was a kid to try to make better units and things to go faster for me, but it's only when I'm playing solo. I would never dream to do that if I'm playing against another person. It just takes away from the fun for me. It takes away from the challenge. Part of the fun of gaming is the challenge. But there's a group of people out there, it seems like a very large number of people, who just get their rocks off trolling and bothering other people and ruining other people's good times. Whether this be in things like Destiny, anything that Activision puts out, Call of Duty wise, in any game when you're playing against another person, it becomes really problematic. Like, for instance, Black Ops 6, ranked play is basically just hackers. It's an unplayable game to begin with, but then you bring in the cheaters as well. And Activision talking about Ricochet and how they're doing things with their anti-cheat there. And Ricochet, I'm not convinced it even works or if they even turned it on in the first place. It's so seldom that you see someone that you know is hacking actually get banned and you get a report back that they got banned for it. Now, on the 22nd of November, Activision admitted that Black Ops 2 rank play has a cheating problem. You think if you just get into a match, you can find that out. After the game's mode's release in Season 1 Reloaded, players encountered lobbies infested by cheaters and posted clips online of hackers taking over high ranked matches. It was even low ranked matches, believe me, because even as I started ranked, I pretty much quit ranked immediately. Frustrations eventually boiled over as content creators and Call of Duty League Pro players tore apart the mode on social media. Now, it's fair to mention that a lot of content creators are part of the problem. A lot of these guys were faking their gameplay. They were hacking. I'm not saying who, I'm not saying everyone, but a lot of them were hacking or using things like Cronus, some kind of extra hardware to help them get along. And so it wasn't valid in the first place a lot of the time. But then you add actual hackers in and hacking companies, and things become an even bigger issue. So it says Team Ricochet identified and fixed a data outage that lowered the efficiency of AI systems. See, that's your first problem. You got to stop with the AI systems. Stop with the AI. It doesn't work the way you think it was going to work. AI has not been as successful as everyone thinks it has, by and large, when it comes to trying to figure out malicious content versus, things like voice bands, for instance. AI voice bands in Call of Duty are one of the craziest things because you can say something sounds like something else and just get a voice ban. Call of Duty in general has a severe problem with dealing with hackers, but they also have another issue where they just don't know what the hell they're doing when it comes to this. I have a friend who is not a hacker. He didn't even have the game downloaded on his account, and he got banned for hacking during the time he didn't have the game loaded at all. And now he's banned lifelong across all Call of Duty games. And he's tried to fight it, and they won't listen to him. So they're not great with customer service either. Now they're talking about doing in Warzone and Black Ops 6 kernel level anti-cheat is what they've done. They do this to steal your data. Let's just be real. They're not actually fixing anything by Activision. I don't believe that. Activision admitted we did not hit the mark for the integration of Ricochet anti-cheat at the launch of Season 1, particularly in ranked play. In fact, they didn't hit the mark on Ricochet at all because they forgot to turn it on, is my only guess. In response, Ricochet is set to introduce a kernel-level driver and brand new server-side protections. Just get better servers. Just get better servers, man. Launched in Season 2 and 3. So they're going to wait for 2 or 3 seasons for a game you paid a ton of money for before they fix it and make it playable? Just with the hackers. The game itself is screwy enough, still. To this day, I can't even... I try to get on and play it. It's absolutely pointless to try to get on. I've quit the game for Delta Force. And it's not even the same kind of game. We're going to get to Delta Force and how they deal with hacks in a minute, too. Activision confirmed there will be more information about this update closer to those season release dates. Here's a look at the other changes included in the update. Upgrades and accounts. Account bans are now happening hourly due to increased velocity from several Ricochet anti-cheat systems. This is in addition to over 19,000 accounts we've removed recently. These updates to our systems mean enforcement response times are now quicker than they have ever been. Leaderboards. The cleanup process has been updated for faster synchronization of leaderboard changes. Investigations. We've significantly expanded our replay investigation render farm, the machine used to generate clip for examination. We've also ramped up the group dedicated to manually review clips. Yeah, ramp up. Actually, just use them. That would be better. Based on priority order that favors detections. In the last several weeks, the replay tool updates have been highly effective at validating detections and reports, providing further training for AI systems and for anti-cheat team and removing cheaters. A kernel-level driver has been at the top of player wish lists since cheating became an issue. I've never heard anyone talk about that. If they have, they've talked about it in a way that, hey, they can take your data in a more serious way. Maybe a couple people have mentioned it. I just haven't heard it mentioned that I paid attention to. So maybe I just missed it. That would be fair. Identifying malware and hacks directly on the computer, running them better than other programs are capable of. That's the way to do it. If you can do that, if that's how you'd have to do it, it's kernel level. Good. Just make sure you're not going to sell our information, Activision. That's a big problem. A lot of these game companies like to sell your information. See, this is a multifaceted issue just with Call of Duty alone. We have just the hackers, and then you have a reporting system where if you're reporting hackers all the time, you're going to get ignored for your reports. That's just the reality of it. They're not going to listen to your account if you're reporting people every round, even if they are hackers. The other problem is how many of them really are. There have been times when I've played and I couldn't tell because of how bad the servers are. We already talked about before, and everybody's talked about now with Black Ops, the hit marker problem that you have. You're hitting people, it's registering a hit on your screen, it's visually rendering it, but the game's not counting it. And they said that was an issue with graphics. That's not how that works. Activision needs to get the entire game revamped and start over from scratch, and they haven't done that. And they're not going to do that because that would cost too much money, and everybody already has the game. What they should do in good faith is reimburse everyone for the base cost of the game across the board. If they didn't pay for it, obviously, no reason to do that. But if you bought the base game, they should just reimburse you. They gave it to Xbox for free. It makes fine sense to give it to everybody else for free now. I bought it on Steam. I want my damn money back. It's that simple. And they don't do that. But they should. They should be held accountable. We should actually get the government involved in something. And normally I don't say that. This is a time when the government should step in and say, hey, you guys need to pay back the people that you ripped off because they ripped us off. That's a reality. But back to cheating. We talked about just earlier this year, Bungie wins a little, this is from PC Gamer, Bungie wins a little walking around money in the first of its kind jury trial against Destiny 2 Cheatmaker. But the victory will likely make it even easier for game companies to keep taking cheaters to court. And it should. They should be able to do this because you lose player base. You're costing the company money by making these cheats. The cheats are easy to make, and the fact is, keeping up on them is incredibly hard because the guys making these cheats are incredibly smart. They're not stupid people. They can find a workaround to the programmer's software without a problem. Because the bigwigs of the company of these games making decisions, A, they're not fucking gamers. They don't play their own games. I'm convinced of that. And B, they're more worried about DEI than making a game that makes sense. They're more worried about having a non-binary lecture in Dragon Age Veilguard than they are making a game that with form and function and quality of life for the player at large. And that is also an issue. Address the things that are going to keep people playing your games and not the stupid crap in the bigwigs. This is what the higher-up CEOs and things, they need to understand. Guys, if we don't play your game, you're not going to make any money either. It's that simple. Now, Bungie didn't win a ton. I think in this lawsuit they won $63,000 something in this one lawsuit, which I'm sure it's a small cheat developer, so I get it. You can't crush someone completely. I mean, I guess it feels like you could, but dev suing cheaters is fine. Bungie's done it before. They've won before. Now, I did mention Delta Force here and how they're handling hackers. Now, I'm going to bring this up here because this pops up every month or every couple of weeks, something like that. Let's see. Pull it up here. It says, hello operators, the Delta Force security team is committed to maintaining a fair gaming experience and will impose appropriate restrictions on those found to be cheating or in breach of our terms of service. As developers, we understand the importance of ensuring a safe and a fun environment for Delta Force players. As such, we adopt a zero-tolerance policy towards anyone found to be in violation of our game rules. This includes, but is not limited to, the use of plugins, illegal software, inappropriate behavior, malicious use of exploits or bugs, etc. Once such behavior is discovered, we will immediately launch an investigation and take appropriate action. This includes, but is not limited to, permanent account bans, IP ban notification inside and outside the game, etc. At the same time, we also invite players to actively report inappropriate behavior in the game through reporting channels provided as well through the community in order to maintain a fair and healthy gaming environment. This week, December 13th through 19th, our security team took action against 1,282 players, imposing bans of up to 10 years. Specific measures included 1,108 device blocks, 3,963 cheating attempts stopped in real time, and 9,918 players forced offline for cheating. We hereby confirm that we will continue to take action against all violation accounts in real time. We ask all operators to abide by the rules of the game and to help maintain a healthy and fair game environment for everyone. The following is a list of some of the accounts we've taken action against on this occasion. These are listed in no particular order, and it goes on to name a partially redacted list of people they have banned. Now, some things to mention about this. Delta Force being a looter shooter, you get in, you get gear. It feels like you're doing something with it. It makes it feel valuable. But when you're going in and suddenly you're one-tapped and dead, and someone just takes all your crap, and it's usually some ridiculous name person or something crazy, and you know it's obvious. You know it's an obvious kill because you know how the armor works, how the bullet grading works. You can see how they killed you, where they killed you. It shows a report after the game of how you died and all of that. I have only once seen in the game they put up and they shamed the person they banned live in the game during the actual round we were in. And it had their name up the entire time at the top of the screen. We have banned this person for hacking or for cheating or whatever. And bright red right across the top. And more games need to do that. We need to shame these people a lot more. You know, you hear people talk about it. That would look real good on some of these streamers that you watch. I've been killed by a couple streamers when they were offline. I don't stream snipe as I stream as well. I don't think it's in good form. But what I will do is if I die and I think it's questionable afterwards, especially in Delta Force, because you can't just lobby back up with them. It doesn't work that way. You're not going to be with them on the next round, etc. But what you can do is you can choose to not play with that person again by flagging against them, or you can choose to play with that person again and give them a thumbs up, which means we're more likely to find them in rotation again. Regardless, I've seen some of these guys stream, and they turn it off for the streams, and they play way different when they're streaming. They're not as good, they're more careful, they're less brazen. It's because they've turned their hacks off. And these are guys with like 4 or 5 people watching ever, like all together, you know, audience of 4 if they're lucky. I haven't seen any big name streamers get out there and hack it up, and I'm hoping I won't on this game. I'm hoping that Black Ops. It was called Hawk Ops, is why. It's now just Delta Force. I'm hoping that they stick with this and keep it up. I think these guys see where Black Ops and Activision and Call of Duty have screwed up and haven't been doing the job themselves, and these guys seem to be actively doing it and showing they're doing it. It's so rare that you feel like Activision has actually done anything for you as a player. They have no care for their community is what it comes off as, and it's problematic. Now, Destiny 2, I didn't get involved enough in multiplayer to care. After about 5 or 10 run-ins with hackers, I was already done enough with that game, and for me at that point, when it came to PvP, I was just done. That was the nail in the coffin for Destiny 2 for me. So it did cost Bungie a player there permanently. And I just shut it off and never turned it back on. I was already having problems with the game, though, getting back involved in Destiny 2. After dumping like $200 into the series, only for it to be given to everyone for free across the board, that kind of chagrined me. But I think that this Delta Force being a free game, a game that is free, not pay to win, just a free game where you can buy skins, you can buy things, and perks that don't really affect other people. They've done a good job about that, and they're doing it pretty well. Yeah, it's going to be a little frustrating with some of the hackers, but when are they going to be able to fix this hacking problem? And the fact is, as long as there's people that can hack You're probably not going to fix it all together. Just the reality of it is, there's too much going on, too many moving parts, too many people that have free time and the ability to make them and want to make a couple bucks. So where do we go from here? How do we do it? AI is not the answer at this point. It can't keep up. It can barely make hands on people and art. Why would we think it can figure out hacking? Especially when the developers like Black Ops can't even get their lobbies to work right. How is the AI supposed to notice a glitch to something else? You know, like how is it registering this information when they probably used AI to render their maps? And those maps look silly. I don't know for sure, but I have a suspicion that Activision has been using AI a lot more than human, and the product is showing if that's the case. Anyway, hackers suck. If you're a hacker, I would suggest you reevaluate your life choices. Ruining the day for someone else just to be an ass is kind of pathetic, and it's a weak way to be as a person. If you are a streamer and you hack, or a competitive gamer and you hack, you should be in jail. You should at least be fined and banned from the service because you are providing a false narrative to people. You are producing a false product. If you're doing this in a tournament, money's on the line, real money, and there's other people trying to make that money, you definitely belong in jail. Absolutely. You should have a criminal record. If you're playing a game and it's just you playing solo, and you want to use hacks, eat your heart out, man. That's your game. Do what you want with it. Do what you want with it. That's what I say. Enjoy it. But don't ruin everybody else's game for your own sake. It's pretty crappy. Also, on a side note with Delta Force, the part where they say inappropriate behavior, don't look at their world chat if you have a soft stomach. It is all the Call of Duty lobbies mixed with 4chan. And it's bad. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. Have you played these games? What do you think of the hacks? Have you come in encounter with across these cheaters and hackers? I'm sure you have. Everyone has. We've all talked about it. If you play games, you've seen it happen. But let me know what you think. What you think we can do to solve this problem. If it's solvable, if it's worth even trying to fix, or if we just let these games die, because that's eventually what's going to happen. Is people are just going to stop playing multiplayer games. And that would just be unfortunate for everybody. It's cool enough to grief somebody in-game when you're supposed to be shooting at each other. You flashbang them, rush them, and kill them. It's another to cheat to do it. Like, get good, loser. Anyway, I'm Moojuice Magic. Love you in the face. And I'll catch up with you later. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Like the video if you like gaming. Bye.